Hey everybody, I'm Jason from Fuzzlord Effects, and in this video, I'm going to be putting together a pedal board for doom metal music. So we're going to talk about the pedals, the order, the power supply, and even check out this brand new pedal board I just got. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure you stick around and watch this video. So if you're new to the Fuzzlord Effects channel, we do gear demos, tech talks, and other helpful music-related videos geared towards the doom, metal, sludge, and drone genres. So if that's your kind of thing, be sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with a friend. I would really appreciate that. And as always, you can keep up with me on a daily at the @Fuzzlord Effects Instagram page, fuzzlordeffects.com, or you can check out the Fuzz Life podcast on iTunes and Spotify, where I do an episode weekly interviewing other people in the music industry. Let's get started on this week's video. So before we get started on the demo, we're just going to walk through this pedal board setup a little bit and talk about the things that we have on the board. So the first pedal in line is the new Fuzzlord Doom Screamer, which is going to come out very soon. And it is a tribute to the Tube Screamer or Maxon 808 circuit. So overdrive, but the tone section has been tweaked quite a bit and the characteristic frequency response of the clipping stage. That is running into a Fuzzlord Effects FU2 pedal, which is our version of the Hyperfuzz circuit with a bunch of different mods. And then from there, we're going to be running into a Fuzzlord Voidmaster, which is a single knob fuzz pedal reminiscent of old 70s silicone fuzz faces. So that's a real medium gain, kind of mid-heavy fuzz face type circuit. Really nice sound, cleans up well with your guitar's volume control. And that is running into a Drone Master, which is a Rat-inspired pedal. I kind of think Rat or Big Muff, one of those two pedals belong on pretty much every doom metal pedal board out there. So the Drone Master is based off of Rat, has a bunch of different mods in it. It has toggle switches to choose between different kinds of clipping modes like silicon, dial clipping, or red LED clipping. And it has a second toggle to add a filter that is traditionally from old Super Fuzz pedals. So it's one of those really fun toggle switches on the Drone Master that really opens up a whole new set of sounds from a completely different style of fuzz pedal. After our first main row of dirt pedals, which I like to keep on the bottom row so I can get to them easily with my feet, is standard Boss TU3 tuner, one of my first guitar pedals actually. And the reason I like to run my tuners after my fuzzes and dirt is that way we can use it as a mute pedal. So imagine the end of the song, that classic thing where we stop the song and then all of our guitars are feeding back and squealing. I like to have my tuner there, so at the end of the song, you can hit the tuner and give a clean mute, because most of your noise is going to be coming from your dirt pedals, not from reverbs, EQs, and things like that down the line. So the tuner is in an odd spot for some people, and that is because it makes a really good mute. One of my favorite pedals of all time that I like using for clean sounds a lot, or you can mix it with a fuzz to get kind of a nice octave sound reminiscent of Super Fuzz pedals or Hyper Fuzz pedals, is the Micro Pog from Electro Harmonics. It's a really simple pedal. It's scaled down version of the normal Pog, but it just has a knob for your dry sound, a knob for the sub octave, and an upper octave. I like to just dial in a little bit of upper octave to give kind of a nice kind of 12-string guitar kind of vibe for clean passages is what I like to use it for. So that pedal mixed with a reverb or delay is one of my favorite sounds for clean stuff. Another new Fuzzlord pedal coming out, this is new for 2020, is the Fuzzlord Darkmaster Echo pedal. And the deal is it's a digital echo pedal that has been voiced to sound very dark and reminiscent of older analog tape units. It has a little bit of a boost on tap. It does have a level control, so you can use this after all of your fuzz pedals and other dirt pedals and stuff and have just a little bit more boost available to push your amplifiers. The repeats are very dark, so the clean tone has a little bit of brightness to it, and then mix that with the repeats, which are heavily filtered and very dark sounding. And a cool deal that a lot of people notice about that is because the repeats are so dark and like soft and warm sounding that it almost gives a bit of a reverb kind of quality as well. So it's an echo, but because the repeats are so soft and warm sounding and heavily filtered, it gives you that kind of ambient reverb kind of sound. The last pedal we're running to today, it might be a little hard to see because it's the black on black special edition print. This one I have on loan from my friend Eric Marrow, who also runs another YouTube channel. You can check him out. This is the Model FET from Electronic Audio Experiments. One of the coolest pedals that I've come across this year. And what it is it's like a preamp pedal based off of the Sun Model T. So John from Electronic Audio Experience did a whole bunch of work and research getting the sound just right on this one. And the deal is it works really good as a preamp pedal with all of your other pedals. There's a bunch of pedals in the market that claim to do the same sort of thing, but this is one that I've heard lately that working with my other dirt pedals and my normal pedal board setup, I throw this at the end and it really just makes things sound a lot fuller and a lot bigger. So that's what I really liked about it. With these preamp pedals, sometimes they kind of take over your sound too much, and I really thought this one added to the sound and worked really well with other pedals. Even though you can run this pedal right into your effects return and like actually use it to bypass the whole preamp of your amplifier, today we're going to be running this whole board into a Laney AOR50. It's going to be set up very clean, and we're going to be running right into the front end, into the low gain input. So I just wanted to throw this out there because people are always asking me about specifics of brand names of things or like the Velcro that I use. This is what I've been using lately, which I will leave a link to in the description to where I got this on Amazon. This is one of the better deals that I've found, and it just comes in big rolls. I think I paid 15 bucks or so for these 2 rolls, which is more than enough. It was enough that I did this pedal board and all the pedals in the back, and then I had enough left over that I cut like a bunch of strips and gave it to a buddy for them to do a similar pedal board with. So if you're looking for what I like, it's that 2-inch wide stripping, which I will leave a link to. All right, so let's talk about the power supply a little bit and just kind of the overall cable routing. The power supply that I have here is a MXR ISO brick. I got one of my cables falling down there. MXR ISO brick. I really like this one. It's not the cheapest power supply out there, but I think for how much it costs and what you get out of it, it's a really fair price. The deal with these ones is each of the outputs coming out of here actually runs on their own little miniature transformer. They're tiny. So it's a true isolated power supply. to explain that a little bit, a non-isolated power supply is basically like a daisy chain. It's just all daisy chained out of one supply, basically. So that's like if all of your pedals ran off the exact same battery. The problem with that is you can get some noise from one pedal introduced to the other, or sometimes some digital circuits don't like sharing the power rail with some of these other fuzz pedals and stuff. So something to keep in mind, if you're having strange noise on pedals, 9 times out of 10, it comes down to your power supply. So that is what I like to use because it alleviates a lot of those problems. And I just have it Velcroed to the bottom of my pedal board. Some boards have like little brackets and stuff, but I've found that, especially with this one, because it's pretty small, that the Velcro works really good. I run all my power and stuff, and then I'll just zip tie them on the bottom. Same with this cable. I should probably add a little bracket or something to hold it up there with. But that's the underside of my board. And if you check it out, this is a really nice purple Tolex pedal board with these wood slats on top that makes the cables real easy to run power up through everything. I just run all of my pedals in line here. Then I have one custom cable that goes from row 1 to the end of row 1 to the beginning of row 2, and that's that cable that you see down there. If you have stuff like that, I mean, it just makes sense to wire everything in a linear way to me. So I always make one custom cable for all of my boards that links from here to up there or something similar, basically. But if you're curious to know more about these boards, my buddy Steve over at Does It Doom is producing these pedal boards now. And he's doing really nice work with the Tolex, the nice piping inlays, holes for the power supply and little feet on them and stuff, and the corner protectors. So this is one I got recently and I'm really happy with it. So hopefully something about this has been informative or entertaining, getting to check out how I route these boards, the pedals on them, and who the board was made by. So we're gonna get set up with the Laney AOR, play Gibson Les Paul, and we're gonna check out some sounds. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope something in it was either entertaining or helpful for you to like know what order you want to put your guitar pedals in, for example. So I'm gonna ask the question of the week. If you've been watching along with the videos, every week I like to ask a question so that all the men and women all over the world, wherever you're from, can comment, and it gives me a chance to interact with each and every one of you, which is like one of my favorite things about running this YouTube channel. So I want to know if you have any cool ideas for videos in 2020 for the Fuzzlord channel, so gear demos, tech talks, those kind of things. I also want to know where you're watching from. I really have fun hearing about where everyone is from in the world, or maybe give a greeting in the language that you speak where you're from, and I'll try to look up how to respond. I have a lot of fun doing that. I also want to know what your favorite pedal was or combo of pedals on this board. I think one of the really cool things about this video was to get to hear how different pedals interact with each other. For example, the FU2 pedal has a very unique sound on its own, but when pushed by the Doom Screamer as a boost onto the input and then running into the Model FET on the output to give that kind of Model T preamp sound, it just gave a really cool, unique sound that I really like. So I want to know what your favorite combo was. And why don't you also let us know what are some of your favorite pedals on your personal pedal board? I want to know what pedals are on there, what your favorites are, and what the order is. So again, I thank all of you for taking the time to watch. Be sure you keep up with me on the Instagram page at Fuzzlord Effects. Check out fuzzlordeffects.com for different t-shirts and the pedals, of course, and things like that. And if you want even more content, check out the Fuzz Life podcast on iTunes and Spotify, where I get to sit down and interview someone in the music world every week. Look forward to seeing you next week.